Here bringing you another card game video today. So I just wanted to talk about a different card game entry that is of course building up a lot of steam and is very successful, and that is Marvel Snap. So Marvel Snap was a card game that was developed by Ben Brode of Hearthstone fame, and his concept for creating the game was, I want to create the simplest, most filed down card game imaginable. I would say that he largely has succeeded in that, right? So this is, a brand new account that I've shown off for the purposes of giving people the idea of what it's like to start playing this card game from scratch. You can see here that every single game that you play in Snap will give you a new card that they kind of drip feed you in this way. Then you get random cards at tier 2. And then furthermore, as you continue on, and if you've been playing the game for any length of time, you'll start unlocking these collector caches, which again only have a chance of dropping a rare card, and then collector's reserves, which have an even lower chance of dropping a rare card, which if you've been playing the game much at all, you'll be up here. So anyway, they drip feed you all the cards you need early on. They match you against opponents with similar card styles and basically free-to-play players. And then they will work their way up to decreasing your card chance, drip feeding you new cards, essentially trying to get you to spend money on the game and participate in microtransactions. So again, the nice thing about this and about that system of drip feeding new players into the card game, starting off with only a very few number of cards in a beginner deck with very, very simple abilities, right? Play me in the middle location, I gain 3 plus power. On reveal, if your opponent played a card here, gain 3 plus power. 1 plus power for each card played here. Your total power is doubled here. And then again, same as Star-Lord on Gamora. So the nice thing about Snap as a card game is that it basically takes what can be at the highest level a complicated card game, but simplifies it down to the bare minimum for new players. It provides them with a very simple leaderboard progression system, or not leaderboard, but they call them battle passes. It's essentially a battle pass progression system for unlocking new cards that they call collection level, and it scales up and up and up so that there'll always be something worth striving for, something worth trying to collect, for as long as that you remain invested in the game. And that's essentially it in terms of Snap. Snap is an exceptionally simple game to play, and it doesn't really actually develop beyond that much in terms of how complicated it gets. You have decks like Movements that are good at moving from right to left of the 3 locations. You have decks like Discard that try to discard cards from your hand for synergies. You have decks like Destroy that attempt to destroy your own units for synergy. But beyond that, Ben Brode of Hearthstone fame has found the most success in a card game format right now, not by making the most complicated or the most advanced or interesting card game in existence. He has found success by making the most accessible, casual card game in existence that you can play on your phone, on the John, and it'll play well that way. So again, I had some people commenting on my last video when I was saying that card games are dying, and their comment was basically, well, what about Snap? Snap is doing well. And it's like, yes, well, Snap is barely a card game, and that's why it's found the most success. It has found success by taking the card game formula. You have a 30 card deck, you have a 20 card deck, and it's filed it down to 12 cards, and you draw 4 on your first turn. So really you have a draw variability of 8 cards. 4 on your first draw, 8 on your subsequent draws, only 12 cards in the deck. It's that simple, and only 3 locations with 12 locations, or 3 locations with 12 slots for those cards to fall into. That's the entire game. It'd be exceptionally boring if that was it, so most of the fun comes from the locations themselves, basically RNG multipliers and modifiers and things of that nature that can synergize well with certain decks and hinder other decks. And then there's the gambling mechanic of snapping, where you can kind of go all in on certain games, bluff your opponent, things like that. That's really it. Snap is you know, the most successful card game right now on the marketplace because it is not a card game. It is the anti-card game. I play it casually for fun. I collect cards. I keep an eye on the game, but that's really the extent of it for me. Because yeah, it's I would call it almost like a slot machine, essentially. It is basically a glorified slot machine, or almost blackjack, I would say. If anyone knows about blackjack, you have to draw cards and hit 21. Marvel Snap plays like a more advanced version of 3-location blackjack, essentially. I think that's a good analogy. So yeah, this is Eternal King signing out. I just wanted to do a quick, you know, talk about Marvel Snap as a game and why it's finding success right now.